Volare, wow, wow, cantare, wow. Benvenuti a tutti and welcome to another edition of Italian America, Long Island. My name is Dave Anthony Setaducati. Today, we're going to focus in on the Concorso D'Eleganza, a wonderful event sponsored by the Center for Italian Studies here at the Stony Brook University. It's a wonderful outdoor exhibition of Italian-made vehicles, including automobiles and motorcycles. Let's see some of these beautiful creations and speak to their very proud owners.
Hi, my name is Francis. This is my car, 1967 Alfa Romeo. Is called the Duetto. Duetto is a two-door, two-person twin cam. Car was just restored. Most of everything is original. What wore out was replaced, but the car is basically from new. This is the first time I've driven it in almost 25 years. It was restored and then put away for a long time. So this is a very special event. I've been coming here for years, and this is the first time my car has been in the daylight. Okay. Yeah, what makes this car special is called the boat tail or round tail. And you see the back is rounded off in comparison to the red car next to us, which the tail is cut off. That's called a cam tail. So this is the first year of this body style. They really made it only 3 years, 1967, 68, and 69. In 1968, they did not import any because of environmental law. They didn't pass emissions. It has dual Weber carburetors. In 1969, they put fuel injection, and everybody took the fuel injection off and put the carburetors back on. It handles beautiful. It's not a high horsepower car, but it's light, and it's a lot of fun to drive. So thank you. I hope I was helpful, and enjoy the rest of the car show.
My name is Dan DiGiovine. I'm on the board of directors of the Alfa Romeo Owners Club, NIROC. This is a 2015 4C LE, LE meaning launch edition. It is number 362 out of 500 made. So it's a pretty special car, and I love it to death. If you could see the carbon fiber, it's a carbon fiber tub, which is very exotic. It's a very lightweight car. It's only 2,450 pounds. It has 237 horsepower, which is more than enough for the car. It's just made for, it's a track car for the street. And I mean, it's Rosso Competizione is the color. It's a beautiful car. And it doesn't even open. There's no trunk. There's a little spot in the back. I will open the trunk and you'll be able to see the mid-engine. This is the engine. This has a little, very small trunk. You're not going to get much in there. It's definitely not a car to go on long trips with, but it is a car that just ignites your passion. It's a beautiful car. This handles great.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm going to show you around my 1995 Ferrari F355 GTB. It's finished in Rosso Corsa with a black interior, typical Ferrari spec. As you can see, very period correct. Of course, gated manual, 6-speed. Nice power, puts it to the road. This is actually the first Ferrari to have power steering. So that's a big plus, because rack and pinion steering, it's kind of a workout to steer. But parking brake's on this side, and to pull the parking brake, it's like usual, you pull it up, and then if you want to disengage it, you pull it up, press the button, and then you push it back down. They do that so you're able to get in and out. But let's show you the engine. So, as the Ferrari naming standard goes, 355, this is a 3.5 liter V8. The reason why they put the 5 instead of the 8 on this is because it was the first Ferrari engine to have 5 valves per cylinder, 3 intake and 2 exhaust. Double airbox, it really makes a beautiful sound. It's a high revving engine, of course, flat plane crank, dual overhead cam, typical Ferrari special. And surprisingly enough, it has a little bit of trunk space, so we're able to fit some chairs in the front to sit in. That's just about it with the car. Drives very nice Sunday drive on a beautiful sunny day on Long Island. Thank you very much, guys.
That's what I have heard that before, but it's one of those things where it's like that's what got me into Ferraris was that car. It's just like it was like that's what I wanted.
Hi, this is a 2001 Ferrari Maranello. They were made between 1998 and 2001. This is a 2001, the last year of production. And they have a 6-speed manual transmission car that I just fell in love with when I saw them. This is actually the second one I've owned. I did own one once before and sold it, and then I found this one in California and I really liked it and bought this one. This car has about, when I bought it, it had about 14,000 miles on it. It currently has about 17,000 change. It gets driven regularly, but for short distances. And I will show you the real heart of this car is the motor, the Ferrari V12 engine. It has a Koyo interior, as you can see. I will open the hood and show you the engine. This is a V12 motor, 12-cylinder motor, fuel injected, of course. It does about 550 brake horsepower. So it goes pretty well. The top speed was advertised as 190 miles an hour. Now for a 2-seat touring car, that's pretty substantial. The one thing that I love about this, one of the things that I love about this car is that it has a trunk, which is really something that a lot of my other cars, the sports cars, do not have. I can pop the trunk through. So if you need to take this car on a trip, you have quite a nice roomy trunk. This car, one of the things I love about it is a great driving car. It's got all the get up and go you'd want. It's not a light car, probably weighs 4,000 pounds, but it still can, with that V12 motor, get out of its own way, so to speak. And I love having the trunk and being able to pack things in it, and very comfortable for 2 people. And just a classic Ferrari that I'm glad I have.
Hi Dave, I'm John Loughran. This is my Fiat 500, 1973. I just recently did a renovation on it, put a new 650cc sport engine and exhaust with a new transmission. It's quite a car. It has a little bit of a history. I actually bought it from a movie producer in Staten Island and went through the whole car. And recently, just kind of finished it. At this point, actually my wife had asked me to sell it because I have so many different cars right now. But it's kind of be hard to part with because now I have everything finished with it, and it's just a fun car to drive. And you can see it's a really good looker, and I get a lot of attention. So in the early 50s, everybody in Italy was driving around in either scooters or bicycles. The roads were so small at the time. They thought if they could get a car like this, it's a two-cylinder air-cooled car, they could fit all through these streets. So it has plenty of room to get your whole family in here, 5 people easily. And in some cases, even with small kids, they would have 6 or 7 in a vehicle. The trunk opens up for groceries and the package stuff. All of these cars came with this convertible top. It came for weight. The car only weighs 1157 pounds. So it's lightweight. The tires are like trailer tires. They're 12 inches. And they could easily get in and out of the streets and park. So this was Italy's version. Britain had the Mini at the time, and France had the Citroen, and Germany had the Volkswagen. So that was all post-war getting people into cars at the time. So this is Italy's fine example.
This is a famous Vespa scooter. Along with that Fiat 500 we just saw, this is the way that the average Italians were getting around in the 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s, right up to the 2000s, and they're still very, very popular today.
The green cloverleaf represents any special alpha, especially racing alphas, and it comes from back in the time where there was a famous racer. I don't remember his name, but he was a famous racer, and he wasn't winning a lot of races. And someone said, "Well, why don't you put a 4-leaf clover on your car? Maybe you'll win that way." And in the next race, he actually won. So all the sport versions of alphas have that green clover leaf, which is quadrifoglio verde. Tragically, in another race a few years after that, the man actually died in a race, but he made that, he turned it into something classic for alpha. This is a 1975 Alpha Spider. It is a classic, and it's quite special though because it's painted in an alpha color called Blue Le Mans. And Alpha painted a lot of cars Blue Le Mans back in the 70s, including the GTVs and the Giulias and even the Montreal, but never the Spider. So I thought, geez, I think that the blue would look good on this car. As a matter of fact, my first car ever when I was in college was a Blue Le Mans GTV, and I loved that car. And I sold it to a friend of mine who actually still has it in Connecticut. It's in pieces, but he still has it. Beautiful color, and it's a standout because it's not only sporty but also very elegant. So yeah, this is my little Spider.
Here we have a few Maseratis. Also represented here in the Concorso D'Eleganza. This is a beautiful one. Look at this. Looks like a later model. Beautiful interior.
Hi, I'm Rich Belvedere, and let me introduce you to my little baby over here. Her name is Gigi. She's a 2014 Maserati Gran Turismo MC convertible. Grigio granito metallico on the outside, cuoio on the inside. Pretty clean car. It has the Ferrari derived 4.7 liter V8, pushing about 454 horses. Car's a 2014. It just turned 5,600 miles on the way out here. You can tell I'm a member of the Maserati Club. Take a look at the interior, which is one of the main reasons why I purchased the car. Gotta love the color. The Gran Turismo, the Grand Touring Machine. Full double back seats.
So here we have a beautiful blue Fiat. It's not a standard blue, it was specially done. The owner didn't want to be on TV, but he wants his car to be on TV. He found it. It was 13 years under a tree. He had it repainted, redid every part of it, and it came out this beautiful blue car. Just a wonderful car with a camel interior. Beautiful. So there you have it. Some of my favorite cars from the Concorso D'Eleganza at State University of Stony Brook for the year 2024. Let's take a look now at some of the history behind these great auto manufacturers. While there are very many expensive luxury Italian cars, the most popular cars in Italy are manufactured by Fiat. During its more than century-long history, Fiat remains the largest automobile manufacturer in Europe and the third largest in the world. The word Fiat is an acronym standing for Fabbrica Italiana Automobili di Torino, which translates as the Italian Automobile Factory of Turin. Founded in 1899, Giovanni Agnelli was the leader of a group of 9 original investors, and the first factory opened in 1900 with a staff of 35, which produced only 24 automobiles. Known from the beginning for the talent and creativity of its engineering staff, by 1903, Fiat made a small profit and produced 135 cars. This grew to 1,149 cars by 1906. The company then went public, selling shares via the Milan Stock Exchange. By 1910, Fiat was the largest automotive company in Italy. That same year, a new plant was built in Poughkeepsie, New York, by the newly founded American Fiat Automobile Company. Owning a Fiat at that time was a sign of distinction. The cost of a Fiat in the United States was initially $4,000 and rose to $6,400 in 1918, compared to $525 for a Ford Model T. By 1925, Fiat controlled 87% of the Italian car market. In 1928, with the Model 509, Fiat included insurance in the purchase price. This was a stroke of genius for the visionary leaders of the company. We saw a magnificently restored Fiat Cinquecento earlier in the program. It reminded me of my wife's car when we were first married a long 52 years ago. She drove the 1969 Fiat Spider. It was sporty, but foreign cars were not very popular in America during the 70s, and it was hard to get service for the vehicle, which required very rare metric tools. The car was also very temperamental and did not like cold weather. Without a garage, she had to wrap a blanket around the engine on winter nights. We finally solved our service problems when we discovered Tony, a mechanic who had immigrated from Italy, and he had a shop in Brentwood. He understood the Fiat and told us the American mechanics were using incorrect parts. After Tony, the car ran like a top. It was a good car to have in the 1970s during the gasoline crisis. At the time, I was a traveling guitar teacher who put lots of miles on his car every week. That Fiat got 50 miles to the gallon at a time when most American cars averaged only 15. Waiting on the long lines for gas during the 72 gas crisis, attendants often thought I was just topping off my tank, which was strictly forbidden, by only purchasing 3 gallons of gas. But that was half a tank for the little Fiat. Overall, it was an economical and fun car to drive, trademarks that still exist today in the modern line of Fiat automobiles. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little presentation on Italian automobiles and the Concorso D'Eleganza. And right now we're going to switch gears, if I may, and speak to the gentleman to my right, Mr. Chris Vaccaro. Chris, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming here. You have a wonderful, wonderful resume here. Chris, you have gotten an Emmy Award?
2.
2. And the Edward R. Murrow Award?
9 of those.
Oh my God, Chris.
I was humble on the paper, but since you're asking...
You should be interviewing me, I think. You'd be doing a much better job. You worked for News 12 as a director of Long Island News, was it?
I was the vice president of digital.
Wow.
For the network, because we had 7 stations around the tri-state. Yeah.
Oh, incredible, incredible. And currently you're a professor at Hofstra. Oh, wonderful. Now, Chris, you have an organization that you are the founding director of. Tell us a little bit about this organization and what it is.
Yeah, it's the Italian American Heritage Society of Long Island, 501c3 nonprofit. I started it about a year ago. So October will be in Italian Heritage Month, the 1-year anniversary of just launching something new, fresh, a regional take on gathering Italians that care about our heritage and are coming together for community, education, and advocacy. That's what it's built on.
Okay. All right. So now, there are many Italian organizations in existence. Some people have said there's over 100 of them in the United States alone. Why a new organization?
Primarily, I like the idea of having a regional one that just the entire island is encompassed in. It's not just something in Lake Grove or something in Suffolk. It's having something at a regional level, being able to make partnerships with all the other bigger organizations and businesses made sense to me. And listen, I'll be totally honest, I don't want to climb a ladder or do this whole pecking order thing from a leadership perspective in an existing organization. I've been doing nonprofits for the last 15 years. I know how to run them, I know how to fundraise, I know how to do business development. I said, I think there's a need for it, but primarily I can do it because I have the skill set to do it. So I dove in and said, let's start this, and here we are. And it's a marathon, not a treadmill by any means, so this is a lifelong pursuit of cultural preservation and heritage.
And Chris, you have an event coming up for this organization. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's our first ever inaugural, I'm calling it the Long Island Italian Celebration. I hate galas, I hate dinner dances. The idea of calling it that seemed benign. I wanted to just have something different and excitable. So we're celebrating being Italian Americans on Long Island. It's October 21st, Larkfield Manor, 6:30. We're kicking off really a coming out of the organization on a grander scale, honoring some incredible people, and hopefully just inspiring some, networking with others, and laughing, smiling, and remember where we came from.
And how would you get invited to this event?
So there's a couple of methods. I mean, we're definitely honoring a handful or more people that are distinguished business people, educators, and so on. So they're hopefully bringing friends and family and guests. Social media and digital outreach, like anything else in society today, you're going to see it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on the web, doing some press outreach, doing things like this to make sure people are aware. So it's a lot of friends and family right now because we don't have a built-in audience, right? We're trying to build this from the ground up. So the idea of members or supporters really starts from here on out. And so, it's really tough. You got to grind. You got to make sure you get people in that door. But that's the beauty of it all. That hustle and that challenge will hopefully pay dividends for years to come as we get more events under our belt.
Okay. So you can become a member of this organization, but it's not necessary for you to be a member to attend the event?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we're actually rolling out a more formal membership program, but no, you should come to the event because you're proud to be an Italian American, because you're friends or a family member of somebody that's being honored, because you just want to have a night out and network for the sake of your business or your personal growth, but you don't have to be a member to attend by any means.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about your Italian heritage.
Well, my ancestors are from Sicily, mostly from Palermo, and also Giuliana, Sicily, which is about an hour south of Palermo. And they immigrated here. I'm third generation Italian American, so I have no direct connection to the ancestors that came here and sacrificed and made that pilgrimage, except for our DNA and our blood and our shared love of, I hope, being Italian. And so my heritage runs through them. Everything I do is about them, and the dream I'm living is what they hopefully envisioned for their family when they came here. I gotta be honest, we were just in Castiglione della Pescaia, which is a beach resort on the Tyrrhenian Sea on the western side. It's in Tuscany. Gorgeous, absolutely perfect, just sitting on a beach relaxing, but honestly right up the road is a baseball field, and that was what brought us to the region, because we're hosting camps and clinics and doing youth baseball development through a different organization that I'm on the board of and help run, the Italian American Baseball Foundation. So you get baseball in Italy and me on the ground there, it is nirvana every time.
So how is baseball taken in Italy? Is it a popular sport in Italy?
It's not soccer, it's not basketball, it's not auto racing. So right there, it always fights for its place. But it's been there since World War II, when American servicemen brought it to Italy, and it's stayed there ever since. So there's a beautiful Italian-American story there. And there's a whole league. There's 30 teams. There's a sort of major league, minor league set up in terms of like a Serie A, B, and C, and there's very good players and talent that come from there, yet only 2 in the modern era have ever actually gone on to play in the Major League Baseball at the professional ranks here. In fact, one of them was just a couple weeks ago. Samuel Aldegheri, he became a pitcher for the Angels. He's from Verona.
Chris, I know that you and I share a strong passion to honor our ancestors and for what they have done for us. But in our modern day United States political climate, where there's so much divisiveness and everyone seems to be splitting apart, what is your feeling about stressing your Italian heritage? Is that adding to the divisiveness, or how do you feel about that?
No, not at all. I feel the opposite. I feel that everybody should be proud of their heritage. Everybody should beat their chest and say, wow, my family is from here. Let's not forget them, and let's not forget the struggle and the journey that they made here. And we can do that by living our lives. And if we have a parade, if we have a celebration, if we do an awards dinner, if we write articles, if we go into some advocacy mode of research and historic preservation, more the merrier. I don't want society to just become some bland existence that we're just here coexisting without actually remembering why we got here. And so, the same way I feel about being an Italian American, everybody else should feel proud about their heritage base too. Not divisive, celebratory, and remembering the journey. And again, it's a tribute to the people who came before us, but the connective tissue for me is making sure that people who come after us also don't forget. I like to think that I'm, passing the baton or building the bridge, whatever metaphor you'd like, because if we don't do it, we will lose that story, that heritage, that preservation point that we're trying to make. And I feel like I'm working in overdrive and extra hard to make sure that we don't forget who we are.
Well, Chris, I certainly feel the same way that you do. It's been wonderful to have you on this show. We've been very honored that you have come down to speak with us. And don't forget the event, everybody. The event is October 21st. You can go on the website. What is it again, Chris?
LongIslandItalians.org.
And if you want to participate, I encourage you to participate. It's going to be a wonderful event, and we hope to see you there.
Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it, Dave.
Thank you.